What is up, everybody? Welcome. I feel like my mic is really loud. 1 second. Hopefully it's decent. I don't know. Still feels loud. It looks loud. What's up? IME, I Repair, Dave Jazz, Sunny, D, Frank the Tank, B Johnson, Josh, AK, Max in the chat. Hit the like button if you just got in. What's up? 1010. Appreciate it. So yeah, another giveaway stream. It's like almost every stream at this point. It's crazy. Don't get used to it. But yeah, I'm gonna be hopping in a call in like 2 minutes with two special guests, which you're gonna be hearing from shortly. And we're gonna be doing a giveaway stream. We're gonna be doing shout out to Cheddar Freeze if you're in the Discord. You know who that is. We're gonna be doing a FTM t-shirt, and then also I don't know if you can see the coffee stains on it. I don't know, it's like right there, but an FTM mouse pad too. So we're gonna be giving away both of those live on stream. It was a Twitter giveaway. I've already kind of put the names into like the wheel spinner website thing, so you don't have to go through that whole entire thing on the stream. And then also we're gonna be doing 1 month of, well, Levi, the newest mod in the Discord, is going to be giving away 1 month of premium, which is worth $49. So those giveaways are gonna be coming up shortly. Also, Seek, who is another mod in the Discord. The mods are amazing, as you can tell. Second. Zeke's going to also be talking about some very interesting stuff. We had a little call last night, me and Champ's Circle. If you've been watching the streams and you know what that is, we had a little bit of a call last night, and it was a really, really productive call. We kind of all used each other's analysis, and we came to some pretty interesting, I wouldn't say conclusions, but inferences for the market. So we're going to be talking about that. There are some serious things taking place right now. This is a huge time for the market, so we're going to get into all that shortly. Futures are slightly down. Today was a red day, but it was up and down. It was weird, so we're going to get into all that. Let me go over into Discord, drop some vibes in the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're excited for the giveaways, and let's get started. Can you guys hear me? I'm not even in it, so I can't. All right, let's try now. You guys are both muted, but if you unmute, let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you.
Perfect. Just making sure the volume's good. Music on. Levi, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. All right, both of you say what's up like one time, just so I can check the volume again.
What's up? What's up?
And then
What's
Levi.
up?
Sorry, I cut you off. Go again, Levi.
What's up?
Yeah, I think they both look good. Let me music back on. All right, let's get into it. How are you both doing? I'll start off with you, Zeke. How'd you do today in the market?
Pretty good. I didn't close any trades out. Just have swing open. I didn't really get that move on SPY, like that bounce that we were kind of looking for. But yeah, pretty flat day. Didn't really do too much.
And you, Levi?
I mean, not great. I had a couple losers, but you know, all things considered, still can't complain.
Yeah, it's a choppy environment to say the least, especially intraday. I mean, you just keep getting these consolidation zones. They break out, and then you get fake outs. The VWAP is like this crazy resistance. It's a very strange time in the market, for sure. So, I think let's start off with the first giveaway, the premium giveaway. I just don't know how much time you have, Levi. And then after you do that, feel free to stick around on the call and chat with us for a bit. Zeke's gonna be talking about some charts and stuff like that. But yeah, you want to get going with the first giveaway?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so walk everybody through why you're doing another giveaway.
Yeah, so I kind of offhandedly the other day, when SPY, I think SPY was up like 1% at one point on Friday. And I offhandedly, I had a bunch of 490 puts, I think, right around that number. And I offhandedly said something. Somebody had commented if we go, it gets another green to red day or something. And I was like, well, if it does that, you know, I'll give away, I think it was 30 bucks cash or a month of premium, whichever the community voted on. And then we hit a massive red day, and you know, being up that much, I felt like, let's get back. Might as well.
So the second day in a row, technically, including the weekend and everything, or not including the weekend, Really, I'm gonna say thank you from everybody in the community who's not in the call right now. Thank you so much. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing this in announcements in the announcements channel of the Discord right now, everybody. It's up to you. You're the one doing the giveaway. Do you want to do anybody can win it, like mods, people who are already in premium, or do you want it to be like nobody who's a mod and nobody who's already in premium?
You know, honestly, I think the idea behind it is to get somebody that hasn't had the chance to experience premium, to get them in there and just see what it's like. And maybe they can't afford it forever, but you know, at least a month, and you can kind of fill it out and see if, well, maybe one day you want to come back to it. So I think doing it to where, like, somebody hanging out in social or something, not a mod or a premium member already.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, sure. So let me just make those rules public to everybody right now. If you are a moderator or your premium member, do not join this giveaway. There will be another giveaway tonight that literally anybody can win. And honestly, a lot of the people who entered it are literally mods. So I feel like it might even be a mod that wins that one. So there's going to be another giveaway for merch. But for this one, only people who are not in premium and not already mods. If you click the giveaway and enter it and you somehow win, and you are one of those, then we're just going to have to run it back. So just don't. So yeah, announcements channel, it's going to be very simple. I'm about to start it up right now. It's only going to be 1 minute long, one winner, and then 1 month of premium.
Levi, I'm glad you said no premium members or mods can win. I don't want Medi win another giveaway.
He keeps winning them. All right, so let's get it started. There we go. It should be, it's being weird on my end. There we go. So imagine only one person enters and it's just like, that would be so funny. They just automatically win. So there you go. It's in the announcements channel. 1 in 3 odds are not bad at all. So yeah, let's see who wins this. And Zeke, do you want to share your screen and then I'll kind of show that to the stream while you walk through everything?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll be ready for that in like a minute. So here we go. 5 people are eligible that have entered. Hopefully they're all eligible. And let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and it's going to be 8 times 8 plus 5. Congratulations on the 1 month of premium. I will message you after the stream and get that sorted for you. Again, huge shout out to Levi, our newest mod. There was a little bit of I wouldn't say drama, but some misunderstandings when you became a mod the other day, but it looks like it's all good now. And yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you very much for literally another giveaway like the next stream, which is crazy.
Absolutely, man. Love to get back. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to go now, or you want to just stick around and chop it up with us?
Yeah, I can stick around. I'll mute myself when Zeke's talking. That way I'm not interrupting anybody.
Yeah, so just while Zeke's setting everything up, everybody, basically last night we had a little bit of like we do these like I think maybe once a month calls or whatever in Champ Circle, and we were talking about just our thoughts on the market, and it kind of started off with one of the members drawing this upper trend line, and then we had another member, I think it was Gold Miner, who did the upper trend line, and then Papa Star shared the lower one, the demand line, and I combined them and I realized like, oh my gosh, we're at this huge inflection point for the market where you're literally testing the breakdown of this massive triangle you've been in since the end of pretty much this whole entire year, or the end of last year, which was huge. And then of course we've been talking about it on the stream, so you might bring it up a little bit. You have the dollar currency index breaking to like I think multi-decade or maybe multi-decade highs. In 2 decades it's not been this high. And then you also have the US 10-year doing the same exact thing. So you're getting some huge macro shifts on top of everything that's literally happening fundamentally. And even just apart from what I just mentioned, which are only just little hints, Zeke has a lot that he wants to bring up. So let me head over to Discord. And are you ready yet, Zeke?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, so start sharing your screen and then I'll show it to everybody else.
I thought I did that. I'm sure.
There we go. Try and go full screen. Did you end it?
Why does it keep doing it? It's really weird.
Is it not letting you? Should.
It isn't. Actually,
It's not. It's not.
no. It lets me go live and then it just like cuts it off.
Go to the conference room channel, like all the way at the top, and try it there. And then, yeah. And in the YouTube chat, Sunny is saying, "I won the giveaway. Thank you, my friend." Yeah, shout out to Levi for that. So there's your winner. Let's see if it's working up over here. Looks like it is. I'm gonna drag you to that channel, Levi. Is it working now?
Yeah, it's working now.
It must have been
Not
just
sure.
that channel. I don't know why. All right, so let's see. Full screen. All right, the stage is yours. Take it away.
All right, what's up, everybody? So first off, I just want to say that I'm not like calling for anything. We were kind of talking about this last night. It's really hard to predict or like call for something like that. So I'm just sharing a bunch of variables and
Yeah.
things
Let
that I
me
see that
cut you
kinda
off 1
lining up.
second. Just in front of everything we're both about to say, we're not trying to, like create fear or anything. We're just noticing variables that are very rare, and also stock market crashes themselves are very rare. So take everything with a grain of salt. We're just looking at charts. We're trying to look for probabilities. We understand that nothing is certain. We're managing risk, and all of you should be doing the same. And neither of us are financial advisors. With that being said, what are you looking at, Zeke?
Yeah, so the other day or over this weekend, Labor Day weekend, then had some extra time, and I went to the weekly chart, and was comparing it from now in 2022, on the right side to 2008, when the market crashed pretty hard. The first thing I noticed was that structurally, just the pattern after we topped out is pretty similar. We topped out, had a pretty big dump in both. Ended up making a higher low on both and made like the first major lower high. Then in 2008 we had another dump which made a second lower low, which is pretty similar to what happened back in June, when the market bottomed for now, or the lows I guess I should say.
Yep.
Ended up making a second lower high, and then after that, it was.
So we're kind of at that part, like right after that second lower high.
Right,
Currently.
that's kind of why I put like over here I put like dump it, and then over here I was like dump it with a question mark. Like I don't know if that's gonna happen. They both have, like right now there's some bearish divergence on the weekly on SPY, and back then SPY also had that forming. The only major difference that I see is that in 2008 SPY lost the 200 MA on the weekly, and we have not done that yet. It's actually around 456, so that's definitely a different variable. And people always say that history repeats itself or rhymes, so it'll never ever be the same. And another thing that I know is that any time in the market that's different from today, whether it's a week ago or a year ago, there's always different market participants, and everybody's seeing things differently, so it'll never just repeat it perfectly.
Absolutely. And we were also talking about those last 3 weekly candles last night on the call, which are pretty interesting too.
Right, yeah, it's like a shooting star kind of weekly candle, and almost like, I think we were talking about like 3 black crows as we were talking about, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just like the first thing. Like structurally they look pretty similar, which is interesting. Then I was checking out the VIX,
and this is what really like caught my eye when we were on the call last night. So yeah, talk about this.
So yeah, back in COVID, it was kind of in this wedge triangle kind of pattern. It's not necessarily like the best thing to do, I guess. People say you shouldn't really chart the VIX, but I've had some success with charting it. And it's just interesting to see that, like, clearly in COVID, it ended up playing out pretty well, I guess. There's a lot of other factors that lead into it. But for the COVID crash, it broke out and had this huge move when the market fell a lot. Back in 2018, there was a 20% pullback on SPY or something like that. The VIX also broke out of this, and as you can see, each pattern has just been getting bigger, and this one now is just massive.
Yeah, it's crazy. And every single spike has gotten bigger, like in correlation to the pattern.
Right.
If we were to make like a higher high in this trend, I mean, that's what, above 80 that the VIX went to on that last spike?
Was at the high, yeah.
I mean, that would be insane. And again, like, it's hard to predict these things. It's just like, if what happened the last 3 times were to happen again, that's all we're saying, that would literally crash the market, right?
Yep.
In hindsight.
And the only time it was over 85 from COVID was in 2008, when it was at 96, which is the highest that at least TradingView has ever.
And then did you bring up the time periods in between those spikes?
I have not, yeah. So I took, since 2008, I took 5 different highs. This one, 2018, and then COVID. And took the average days in between all 5 of them. And the average days in between each high of the VIX spiking was 833 days. Currently, from the COVID spike up to 85 until where we are today, it's 897 days. So it's not quite at the average, but it's relatively.
I mean, yeah, when your days are like that long, like over 500-600, like right. 30-40 day difference is not going to be a huge deal. So I mean, and we're right at that point right now where you're testing that breakout. So, and then of course, like, is that some like kind of hidden bullish divergence there on the weekly?
Yep, there definitely is.
Crazy, just nonstop. So, and then even like if you really zoom in, if you just look at that one like green candle recently, after that long period of dropping, it looks like you're breaking out of that short-term downtrend as well.
For sure. We got a pin bar last week, which is very interesting. And then also you mentioned the dollar earlier. I'm looking at like the largest time frame that you can look at. Wow, actually, when we looked at it over the weekend, it wasn't even breaking out of this, but now it's actually breaking out of this. But it's this massive cup and handle, which is really interesting, breaking over some levels we haven't seen since 2002.
That must have been like around the .com bubble, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not too big of a macroeconomic kind of guy, but it's just it's really interesting to see that, and then as well as the U.S. 10-year. I know we look at it like every night on stream, but
crazy.
You look at it since it became like a yield, I guess. It's not really
a bond
or anything. Yeah, bond. It's pretty much just been in the downtrend ever since, and looking like it's kind of breaking out of that. It's broken over 2018 highs, testing some from 2011. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not one to call or even want any sort of doomsday or event or crash or anything. It's just pretty crazy, along with the rate hikes and all the stuff that the Fed's doing.
Yeah, it's like, and this is what I said when we were in the call last night, like, really, this is how I'm putting all of this, like, with all these charts we just looked at and everything else going on, when you talk about the energy crisis, it looks like that's taking place literally now, and it's just continuing. And then you talk about everything the Fed has done and underestimating inflation like they did when they kept calling it transitory or whatever that whole entire deal was. And then you look at all these charts. What I basically said on our call last night was, if there were a time for an actual crash, not just a bear market that we've seen throughout this year, like I'm talking about an actual crash, or even just maybe like a smaller crash, like a flash crash, it kind of looks like everything is set up for that right now. Like, and Sonny just put in the chat, it's the perfect storm. Like, we're not here to say that it's going to happen right now. We're just saying if there were to be a time that were to at least make some sort of sense based on how all the charts are moving and how all the headlines are kind of reading, it just, if there were to be a time where we were going to kind of have some sort of major drop down, it's just kind of like everything is signaling that it would be soon, which is just interesting to somebody who looks at charts all the time.
It is. And then also, I remember you were talking about this too. And I'm not a harmonic guy. I really don't know them very well. But
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Pretty quickly to the best of my ability. This happened to ARK, and ended up playing out really, really well.
Yep.
And you were saying that a lot of the times, I don't know where this point goes,
Yep.
but it's somewhere down here.
So yeah, basically, if this is a potential bullish bat forming, you could be in the final part of this bullish bat. And there's a technical move called the bat action magnet move, which is basically after you put in that C point on the harmonic, as you can see, it's right by where you see the letters LH2, as you just did. After you put that point in, the drop down to the final leg of the bullish harmonic, which would be the D point, all the way down at like under 240 on the SPY, almost close to the Kobe crash lows. That's called a bat action magnet move, where basically some people actually short, even though it's a bullish harmonic, some people short the final wave of this harmonic down to the pattern completion zone. But this really only confirms once you break under the B point, which was our first low of the year, major low of the year. So if we were to break under, what price is that?
It's about 360. 362.
Yeah, so if we were to break that, then that would kind of set up your bat action magnet move. So, and like if you were to go look at the ARK ETF, the same exact thing already happened to that. Now the difference is, and you can pull up that chart really quickly on the weekly. You can already see that. Just try and just draw that harmonic out again. And then after you do that, try and put like an arrow as to where the SPY kind of is, if you were to look at this as being the SPY. And I know it's a little bit blurry if you're watching this stream, but it should clear up in a second. So the SPY is pretty much where he's drawing an arrow to. Exactly.
We're somewhere around there.
So all we're saying is if these technical things happen, you're at the point where you really sell off. So if this bat action magnet move also happens on top of everything else, it would be crazy. And if you go back over to that SPY chart, that C point that we just put in is a 618 retrace. It's a perfect golden retrace. If you go from the all-time high on the S&P 500 to the low of this year, and then you see the rally we just had in July, you made a 61.8% retrace from that all-time high to the low. You went back up 62% of the way, which is your golden retrace. That's what you would typically see for a major lower high in the market. And also that would make just the potential harmonic, which hasn't fully played out yet, even more textbook, or just symmetrical. So yeah, Levi, I'm not sure if you're still here. I know we've been talking for so long, but what are you thinking based on everything we've been talking about so far?
Yeah, so I'm from the economic side of things.
Perfect.
If we look back at like 1929, right, one of the things that kind of symbolizes that is hyper overvalued stocks, things that are valuated nowhere near where they should be. And you look at things like, no offense to the GME, any of those communities, but you look at stuff like that too, and you're like, oh, maybe there's a connection there. That's the stuff that worries me. It's what's overvalued.
All the speculation.
How do we know it's overvalued? And then if the Fed is unable to if the Fed's unable to fight inflation perfectly, which I don't really know how you do. I think me and Clovis, Frank, were talking about this a while back. Their dual mandate makes this a near impossible task. So if they don't do everything perfectly, you've got the technical aspects lining up for a major capitulation, and then you've got the major economic factors right behind
crazy.
it as well.
Right.
Yeah. It's just everything. It's like the perfect storm, like Sonny said. Go ahead, Zeke.
Weren't you saying something about how once this B point breaks, like say SPY was to continue further down and like test the lows and then maybe break it? Weren't you saying there's like a certain percentage of a chance that once the B point breaks, the pattern will complete?
I think it was maybe Papa Strada who knew the actual percent chance. I don't know the actual percent chance, but yeah, like,
I know.
It's a pretty solid. Like I've traded these on like low time frames multiple times. Even today, I believe you had a bullish bat show up on the SPY on the 5-minute. I don't know if you'll be able to find it, but like a lot of the times when you have like that those bullish bats forming and you're on that final leg and it breaks that B point, like just from what I've personally seen, a lot of times it does drop down to that D point. Now, to be fair, the amount of money pulled out of the market for that type of a move would be a lot of money. So of course we're going to need some sort of headlines and other macro events that would continue to drop the market lower. It can't just be a potential bullish bat that drops everything. Again, this is just like another layer on the cake that might be forming, which is crazy.
And then also lining up with that B point, like say if that were to break the 200 weekly.
Yeah, all of it's lined up there, and then
basically right
you have
there.
that zone which used to be resistance, like.
Right.
So if you get down to those areas and you break them, I think the number one word that you're going to see at that point would be fear. And when you see fear in the market, you could see that potential quick move down. And again, we're not trying to do this to make anybody scared. Like those type of moves, if you can kind of be prepared, which is what technicals can allow you to do in risk management, those type of moves can create or have already created generational wealth for a lot of different people. There's a lot of articles you can read on the amount of millionaires that came after 2008, the amount of millionaires that came after 2020. If you go on Twitter, you can find a lot of them as well. So it's all about just timing and risk management, and understanding that most likely over time the market will make a new all-time high at some point, like it always has done for the past century or even more, I guess. So it's all about timing. And yeah, great job to you, Zeke, on noticing all these things. Also, shout out again to Levi for the giveaway and also helping out with some of that economic stuff. And I appreciate you both so much. I'm actually about to do the giveaway right now for the merch, and both of you, I believe, are entered in it. So stay on the call for like 1 second just in case one of you wins. It'll be cool to get your live reaction. So let me exit out of here.
AK is saying futures dropping off the stream's news.
Are futures dropping right now?
I'm not sure. I guess they are, but
Let me just fix my screen.
Oh wow, they have.
What are they at right now?
38.91.
Like percent wise, sorry.
Half percent. Yes.
Oh wow. Well, I have puts right now, so not gonna complain. All right, so here we go. This is going to be for the FTM. Actually, I need to check this. Are we doing 2 winners? I don't know if we're doing 1 or 2 winners. It says, I don't know if Chada's gonna answer me right away. She said she was busy. All right, I want to just double check this with her because she's the one that's sponsoring this giveaway, by the way. So I'm just trying to check with her really quickly. I'm gonna have to probably decide if she doesn't answer me though. And while I'm waiting on her to answer me, let me go back over here. By the way, if either of you like have to go eat dinner or whatever it is, feel free to do that. I'm not trying to keep you here forever. I'm just trying to finish this giveaway.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And then also, let's do this. So again, shout out to Trader Zeke at Trader Zeke on Twitter. You can see his Twitter on the screen right now. He posts a lot of cool stuff there and just showed all of us that cool analysis on the market. Go check him out there. Shout out to Levi. This is his Twitter. He's the second giveaway in like almost the same week, pretty much, apart from the weekend. And then also Cheddar Freeze, who's doing this merch giveaway. Those are all their handles, as you just saw on the screen. Go check out their pages. And yeah, we're just waiting to see if Cheddar says it's 1 or 2 winners. The giveaway is closed for the merch. Cheddar said 1. All right, so we got the answer. So whoever wins this right now is going to be getting a FTM shirt, FTM mousepad. I'll reach out to you on Twitter after the stream. So here we go. And it could be one of the people in the call right now. They're both in this, which would be crazy. Oh my gosh, no way. Wow, I literally just said it. I'll wait for him to see it.
No way.
Let's go, Zeke.
Yo, I'll re-put out the mousepad to anybody else.
Oh, you want to? So you want me to redraw for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so also not only is Cheddar Freeze doing a giveaway and Levi, but technically Zeke is also kind of doing a giveaway of his giveaway prize. So yeah, these are the mods in the FTM Discord, by the way. They are the best people in the world, so shout out to all of them. So yeah, Trader Zeke, you're going to be taking the FTM shirt, and now we're going to redraw for... Imagine Levi wins this. Both of you are just literally sitting in the call and you both win them. That would be crazy. All right, so I'm going to take you out of the draw. Yeah. And now we're going to respin for the mouse pad. Here we go. There we go. It's going to be Kareem. Shout out to you. I believe that's a premium member. So congratulations, Kareem. Congratulations, Zeke. Shout out again to Cheddar Freeze for sponsoring this merchandise giveaway. If you ever want FTM merch, the link for that's in the description. So yeah, I'm going to let both of you go. Thank you so much for joining me on the stream. I hope you have a great night. Thank you for all the amazing work you both do. And I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Peace out.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye. So there we go. Greatest community in trading. I don't care what anybody says. Let's put the music back up a little bit. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. Let me know if the audio is good. It's hard to like keep changing and everything. So there we go. The giveaways are done. Zeke won the FTM shirt, and then Kareem won the FTM, not the mug. Nobody won the mug. Actually, the mug is discontinued. Anybody who got a mug, I believe, you now have something that's limited edition. Kareem won the mouse pad. And then again, shout out to Levi for doing a month of premium. And the winner of that was 8 times 8 plus 5. I'll be reaching out to you after the stream. I'll also be reaching out to the Twitter giveaway winners after the stream. So there we go. Now let's go look at charts. Zeke already did a lot of the work for me, especially with like the longer term stuff for the market, but we need to still break down the shorter term stuff, which is a little bit different than everything we were already talking about. Let's close this. Let's open this. So let me give the rest of my thoughts on the market. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and Zeke, I prefer not to answer that. You know, I'm not great at math, so yeah. All right, let's get started with the SPY more short term. We already did kind of talk about this major triangle pattern, and you're testing a breakdown of that pattern. Now, if we go over to the 1 hour time frame, this zone I've had charted for the longest time. I've had this zone charted since we were like up over here, like at the top. And once we got to it, I told you all about how important this 390-ish area is. It was your highs over here at the end of June, beginning of July. It was your low after you back tested it in the end of July after we had that epic melt up rally for the market. So you're now testing that as support. You've kind of bounced off of it about 3 times. Now you're working on your third bounce. You do have like, I think, quadruple classic bullish divergence on the 1 hour. But I don't know. You've been at this level since the first of the month, almost a week now. And apart from that rally you saw, I think last Thursday, you really just haven't seen much strength off this level. Like if you really go down to the low time frames, you're just chopping around. Like literally apart from this, which was good, it was a nice rally. Apart from that, it's just been a lot of choppiness, especially most of the price action today. I do have these like triangle patterns drawn out for tomorrow morning. Futures are down, however. So, you know, you could gap under these and then that's it. Then you lose the support. So really, this is a huge make or break level. You have this 1 hour chart zone that breaks, and I have about 385 as the next support, but really you have that 383 gap to fill that you did never fill. So you have that as well. So what else is really important about where we currently are now, apart from this yellow zone at 390? If we go over to the daily, like I said earlier, that huge demand line. If we just look at this as one large triangle in the market, you're testing a breakdown literally right now. So if you were to give up that 390 level, you would also simultaneously be breaking under this demand line. So that would be a little bit rough. The one thing that, you know, maybe if you somehow hold this zone, or even if you break down for a little bit and then it's just a fake out, the one thing you might have going for you, which again, like this could happen later on too, like you can go all the way down to this gap fill over here, and then it could only matter then, but you do have that potential hidden bullish divergence. It's kind of developing, but it's not really formed yet. And then, you know, if we were to sell off a little bit more, then maybe the RSI gets oversold. So those are kind of the potential variables for the SPY. The 4-hour chart, you did get that first, like the first time you tested this 390 level, you had a bullish pin bar, you bounced a bit, but then today you kind of got a bearish engulfing candle breakdown, and now you're just kind of retesting the breakdown if you look at it in a different perspective. So you have that. Your volume's kind of the same. It's not really going up like how we usually see on the major lows, like over here. I believe you're probably still at your lower Bollinger Band, so you are there. So you have, you know, a couple different contradicting variables, but overall, if these futures hold red like this, then you would be breaking down from everything we just talked about. And if we go over to the QQQ, it's kind of already broke down from its inflection zone, this blue zone we've been talking about. It broke down from it right over here, and then it retested it as resistance, and then sold off again. It's like a downside break, hook, and go. So that's not great. And I think you do have a gap fill under this zone as well. You can see that yellow zone over there. If we really zoom in, you never filled this 287.5 gap. You kind of had both of these lows over here, but you never perfectly filled it. So you've got that on the QQQ. The Russell 2000 continuing lower. If we go down to lower time frames, it's testing a 178.5 support level. It does have a little bit of support here because you can see these previous highs from July. Could maybe flip into a support, so you are testing that. So you have like these lower time frame supports, but these larger time frames are just testing major breakdowns. Let's say we're to even extend this demand line that I had already drawn over there, and then we kind of turn this into a supply line. Imagine we look at it like this, or even if we just look at it like that, and then we zoom out, it's like one huge bear flag, which would be very rough if it did play out. We'll see. Then you have the ARK ETF, which is kind of towards the bottom of this wedge. It does look a little bit different than the SPY, and that's the interesting thing, and we already talked about this a little bit earlier, but we go over to the weekly time frame, right? The ARK has already done all of this. It's already completed a bullish bat, right? If you look at the SPY on the weekly though, the SPY is like literally right over here. That's all it's done. It's only gotten to this point. So I don't know, if the SPY does all of this as well, what happens to the ARK ETF? Does it just magically somehow outperform it, which it hasn't been able to since pretty much the COVID crash, or the rally after the COVID crash, or the bull market after the COVID crash? It's tough to tell because the SPY is kind of only at this point over here when the ARK is already all the way down over here. So it's just a big question that honestly I don't have the answer to, but it is something I've been thinking about for a while now. And yeah, so those are more shorter term levels. And you also have the VIX, which is continuing to test this resistance level we've been talking about for the past week at around 27.65. It tested it multiple times today if you go down to low time frames. What time frame did I draw it on? 5 minute? No. There we go, on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, I kind of have it drawn as a right-angled descending broadening wedge, which is a bullish pattern. So if the market gaps down tomorrow, you break under that 390 support level on the SPY, you break down on that from that triangle on the daily on the SPY, break down from all that stuff on the SPY, then the VIX would most likely break above this resistance level it's been working towards, and that would take you even higher and even closer to really breaking out of that weekly pattern that Zeke brought up, which you're literally kind of testing right now. So, you know, I'm going to leave this on my chart pretty much like this. If this happens, a lot of retirement accounts are not going to do well. That's the easiest way to put it. So risk management is very important. I'm not trying to create fear with anybody. All I'm saying is, like, we've seen this before multiple times. Zeke brought it up, and the previous times did not go so well for the market. That's all we're talking about. So who knows, maybe, you know, you only have a sample size of like 3. That's not a huge sample size, to be fair. So maybe the 4th time is different. But we'll see. So that's my thoughts on the overall market. And then you have energy, which was rallying over the past few weeks and is now back testing some resistance. You can see this 78 level was resistance over here and over here, and then it kind of was resistance over here and over here. You dropped back down into that level, and now you're trying to retest it, but you did get a bearish engulfing candle on the daily, so it's a little bit weird. And yeah, just some other tickers on my watch list. We've got Tesla, which is testing this 272 level. It's kind of just in this little 4-day range between like 265 and 282. So it's just a short-term distribution range for Tesla right now. If it breaks down, you've got this gap fill at 250. If it starts going up, then you've got the 200-day moving average at 296. On lower time frames, I do have a wedge drawn out, but the more critical level over here is these two lows. You have very well defined lows at 266 pretty much. If those break, then you have an even lower gap fill to 259. So multiple different potential scenarios from what you're seeing on this chart. We also have Amazon, very similar. I have all of these 1 hour levels charted with this downsloping channel. Kind of gave up this previous yellow zone. Then we have Apple, which broke out of this little descending broadening wedge, but really hasn't done much. It also has a gap fill even lower, around 152, which would also, I mean, that would be, 152 is a huge level on Apple. Look at this low from March, this high from June, this gap fill. So you all know I was pretty bearish on Apple when it was literally at the top. We talked about the bearish harmonic, the bearish shark, and the resistance. And now maybe they're starting to approach a little bit of support, look towards the lower 150s. I think there's literally an event tomorrow, September 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So literally tomorrow. It looks like the new iPhone will be revealed and whatever else. So we'll see how that shapes things. I mean, Apple is the type of stock that could move the whole entire market, so keep an eye on that. Then some small caps that we like to talk about on the stream. CLOV successfully hit 2 out of the 3 targets of the swing and has finally dropped back down to where I alerted it. And right now it's in a very weird place, to be honest. Not really a huge level. It's still in this down sloping channel. It's kind of testing this supply line, but I don't know, there's just not a lot like going on from like a very short-term time frame point of view. Maybe on like the larger time frames you have a harmonic in development, which would probably be a bullish bat, and the 886 would be a little bit lower, down around 220-ish. And on the daily, there's really nothing that's changed, but I mean, since those tests of the 200-day moving average, it is down about 33% in around a month. So a pretty rough past month, really, since earnings especially. So keep an eye on that. And then we have Fisker, which is testing the insanely important level. It's the lowest level. It's always bounced off this level like the last 4 or 5 times it tested it. It's testing it yet again. If the SPY breaks down, as much as I love Fisker, it's hard for me to see Fisker outperforming literally everything else. It just is. It's a very new company. As much as I love this new company and as much as I hope they do the best, for Fisker to hold $8, which is only a couple percent below it, a few percent below it, while everything else potentially could be dumping if the SPY breaks down, I just think would be unrealistic. So it's always possible, if the market really does start, if all those larger time frame bearish technicals and patterns start playing out, it could bring Fisker under that support level, which is kind of its final support level, and it would just be at new low prices, which it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not going to say why I'm not complaining about it, but let's just say maybe if I do a little bit better day trading, I've had a little bit of a rougher streak. I mean, some nice alerts and premium lately, but maybe it would be nice to move some profits into some Fisker shares for the long term. I don't know. That's not financial advice. It's just something that's been on my mind. And yeah, so it's the huge test for Fisker. I'm not saying it's going to break the level. I'm just saying if the market really starts dropping, then it probably would. However, if the market doesn't and it somehow holds, then yeah, I mean, this is your major support level. Hopefully it holds it again. On like lower time frames, you do have this massive wedge. So it's just a question of, do you break out of the wedge first, or do you break down from the support first? And one of them will happen at some point. It's just a question of which one happens first. So that's Fisker. Yeah, that's the majority of what I wanted to talk about this stream. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed lately, we've not been doing a lot of individual stocks and stuff like that. It's the overall market that's moving everything for the most part right now. It just is. So I'm not really too focused on individual names right now. I'm just focusing on what's happening with the overall market. When I start to focus on individual names again, I'm sure I'm going to be spending more time doing ticker requests and whatnot, but it just feels like most things are moving together right now, so I'm just focusing on the indices. Also, today we did have cryptos sell off quite a bit. Bitcoin had a very quick, it dropped 4% in an hour or something, and it is now retesting lows of the year. Thankfully, it pretty much hit that first target before dropping here. So Bitcoin's retesting lows of the year, which were also 2017 highs, and then even kind of your high at the end of 2020 before it broke above it. So this is a 19K pretty much is the huge, insanely important level for Bitcoin. If it breaks down, then there's not much to, I think, like 14K. Yeah, so if you break this zone of support here, it opens up a whole entire new zone, which you haven't seen in a very long time. So it's testing that. And then you have Ethereum, which is not too different, maybe even a little bit better. I mean, actually a lot better. Bitcoin's all the way down over here, and Ethereum's still way up here, well above its lows of the year. So, you know, kind of had a little bit of that wedge breakout we were talking about, but that might be flipping into a bear flag now. So keep that in mind. It's testing a breakdown as we speak. So you have that. And then, yeah, futures are red. These are a little bit, I think it's like 10 minutes delayed, but S&P futures down 0.66%. NASDAQ futures 0.75%. It's about the same for Russell 2000 futures, 0.75%. So red futures. Tomorrow could be a very historical day if it opens like how the futures are indicating. If the futures stay like that, we have literally over 12 hours till the open. But if you gap down tomorrow, like over 0.5%, you're breaking down from the triangle pattern the SPY's been in for almost a year. And then you're also breaking that 390 support level. So if you break down tomorrow, I mean, the next level most people are probably looking at is that gap fill around 378. There's actually a closer one, I think. You have the 383 gap fill first, and then 378. And then if you don't reverse off of either of those gap fills, you got the low of the year. And if you break that, that's the bat action magnet move we were talking about earlier. The final wave of a bullish harmonic, but final wave of a bullish harmonic is bearish. So, you know, when you have that accompanied with weekly hidden bearish divergence, see what happens. So, yeah, huge area for the market. I'm not trying to create fear with the title of the stream and the thumbnail and everything we talked about, but we're not making any of these things up. You can go research all about all these patterns we brought up on the stream tonight. They're there. They are on the charts. It's not up to us whether or not they play out. It's up to the odds of the universe, I guess. We're just sharing the patterns that are literally there. So we'll see what happens. Technicals are not always right. They're just probabilities, but they can help you out a lot when they are right. So we'll see what happens. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the Discord. Shout out again to Chetta Freeze for the merch giveaway, Levi for premium giveaway. And yeah, check out the links in the description. Have a good night. Peace out.